Well, hello there, guys. Happy New Year, happy 2016, and welcome back to, the first video of the new year on the channel here. And to start off the new year, I figured, as I mentioned in my last video, the $2.50 PowerMac G5, we're going to be going back to that today, so I have it right here. And we're going to be getting all of that guy's data off of it. If you haven't seen that video, I'm going to have a link on screen right now, as well as a link down below in the video description, so you can go watch that video. What I essentially did in that video was do a whole overview of the actual system, showed you guys what was on it, and there turned out to be a lot of personal info from the previous owner, rather, on here. And of course, I didn't show any of that info. As I said, I'm not really that much of a jerk, so I'm not really going to show any of his personal info. And I said in that video that I would be doing a follow-up video, I guess, kind of proving to you guys that I'm going to be wiping the hard drive and installing, or rather reinstalling Mac OS X Leopard. And that's what we're going to be doing today. So I have my OS X Leopard CD here. I was actually kind of debating what operating system I was going to put on here. I was thinking of either putting OS X Leopard or Ubuntu Server, I think 14.04. And the reason I was thinking of doing that is because this is a perfect server machine. And I may end up using it as a server later on, but I don't really know what I would be using it as a server for. Maybe like a file server or a game server or something like that, because it has two separate processors, and I have a bunch of RAM for this from my other G5 system that I can put in here. So, and it already has like 4 gigs. For some reason, I think I didn't have it all installed properly. It was only finding 2 gigs in the last video, I believe. So I think that I have it set up correctly, so we should see like the full 4 gigs of RAM. If not, then I'm guessing that's a problem with the RAM cards themselves, or it might just be a different type of RAM that I didn't really notice. I didn't really look at that, the type of RAM very closely, but so anyway, that's what we're going to be doing in this video. I'm going to just start this off with putting OS 10.5 Leopard, which is the latest release of OS X that will run on any PowerPC system. Which this is a pretty old version of Mac OS X. This was released in 2007. This is version 10.5, and we're on 10.11 now. So this is a few versions behind. So there's a lot of things that, I don't really like putting old software on here, but I just wanted to get this guy's data off here. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. I'm just going to reach over here and turn on the system. I think we actually may have to boot up into OS X. Now, this is a very loud system, by the way, so at least when it's initially turning on, because I don't think I can... Yeah, there's no physical eject button on the system, so I think we're going to have to boot into the OS and then press the eject button on the keyboard, and then put the CD in and restart. Yeah, I know it's kind of a pain, but we're just going to have to do that because we don't really have any other options here. And yes, this system gets very loud. Yeah, so on my previous video, somebody actually said that the reason why it's making all this noise is because the fan that I have over, and again, I showed that when I opened the actual system up in my previous video. Somebody actually said that the fan, part of it was missing or something, and I was looking online, and I'm not really sure if that's true or not. It might be, but this is an older model of the PowerMac G5, and it just came with that type of fan, so it does run really loud, especially when it's first turning on. It does quiet down. Now it's a little bit quieter, and I think it gets quieter than this. Now, the mic that I'm using is a headset microphone, so it's far away from the system, so you're not going to hear it as loud as it really is, but it can get pretty loud. So if you were actually using this in a server, this would be good for a server room, but this guy was using it as a desktop machine, and it can get pretty loud. It is very loud right now. So maybe he's right. Maybe that there was part of the fan missing. I didn't really see anything around when I picked this up. But again, it was $2.50, and it works perfectly fine. So I'm not really gonna complain or like anything, because it works perfectly fine. But so yeah, now we're gonna press the eject button on the keyboard, and I think you have to actually hold it down a little bit. Yeah, it's gonna open up. I actually have a bit of a disk drive problem on my other G5 machine. It doesn't open up all the time. Like you kind of have to like force it open, so like it'll get stuck. And this one seems to work perfectly fine. So I'm gonna hope here that it doesn't like eat my OS 10 Leopard disk, because I can be very unlucky with that. But I'm gonna hope that it works. The reason I have this text edit window open is just to hide all the icons on this guy's desktop. Okay, so we are back after a bunch of stuff happened. Well, essentially what I've done is we were taking a look at the PowerMac G5. It was having trouble reading the OS 10 install CD. And my original plan was just to basically use the disk utility with OS 10 to wipe the drives and reinstall OS 10. Well, that plan didn't really work so well. So what I did, and it took me a while, but I got the 2 hard drives out of the actual machine, and this is one of them right here. This is the user installed drive. The other one is in this one computer to my right. I pulled out the old $5 Dell machine that I got, and I was looking in here because I was going to hook up the hard drives to here to format them and everything. The issue was, obviously, this is too old of a machine, and it has a different, because this is the hard drive from that machine, and it has the older inputs essentially, so you can kind of see here the older ports and stuff. Just kind of show you there. So that plan didn't really work out. So then I got this computer all the way over here, and this computer is a fairly new computer. It's on this hard drive right here, which is the one that's actually in, or that was originally in the machine. This hard drive has Windows 7 on it. It's a 200 gig drive. This Seagate drive right here. It's a 200 gig drive. So what I did is I put in the one drive, the main OS 10 boot drive, which is like 100 gigs, I think. I'm not sure. And we're going to be using a program called Derek's Boot and Nuke, otherwise known as DBAN, to wipe the drives using this Windows-based machine. Now, we can't do this on a Mac. It would be easier if I could just do this on the G5, but we can't do it because of Apple's, I think it's like the way that the machine boots up and like the actual bootloader. The way that Apple has it configured, you can't load programs like DBAN, which kind of sucks. But yeah, so let's just turn on this machine here, and we have everything plugged in. I'm just gonna quickly put in the drive, or put in the CD. So I'm gonna try to. It's not actually gonna be able to boot to anything because the drive is in a file system that Windows can't read, and unsupported video has an adding graphics card. Oh yeah, I probably should plug into the graphics card. That's a good idea. Yeah, I forgot. Let me turn it off here. I forgot this computer does have a graphics card on it. I didn't even see that, so good thing it warns you. Alright, so we're going to boot this thing back up. And hopefully, I'm still using the Apple keyboard, so I'm going to have to, we want to do F12 for boot menu, because we don't want to boot to the hard drive. I don't even think it can boot to the hard drive, but it has found it, so that's good. And we're going to boot to CD-ROM. And if you've never used Derek's Boot Nuke before, it's a very good program. And essentially what it does is this is a perfect program for our uses. Let me kind of show you here what the menu says. Essentially, this is going to, as you see here, it says the software irrecoverably destroys data. Essentially, I guess a brief explanation for some of you who don't know, if you format a hard drive, there are still ways to get the data off of that same hard drive. Even if you format it, you can format it many times, and it can be difficult, but there are tools out there that people can use to wipe, or not wipe, but get the data that you think that you have formatted, but they can still get it back. And in a case like this where we have so much personal info from this guy, I think that we need to use a program like this, because essentially what this does, it will wipe the hard drive in such a way that there's no way that you can get any of the data. That's why it's got this warning up here, because there's no way of there's no chance of getting any data back using this program. So I'll just press the F2 key to kind of show you more about it, if it will let me press the F2 key. So as you see, it says it is a self-contained boot floppy. We have it put onto a CD that securely wipes the hard disks of most computers. It will automatically and completely delete the contents of any hard disk that it can detect, which makes it an appropriate utility for bulk emergency data destruction. There's no, I'm just going to have to do this one at a time, because there's no other SATA ports on this machine. Well, there is, but I don't have any other SATA. And actually, I guess I could actually, because I think I have another SATA cable. Okay, so I have absolutely no idea why everything is deciding to break on video, but I guess that's just how everything goes. But this hard drive, which as you guys saw was working in the G5, is now not working, or at least is not being recognized by this computer at all. and I use the same SATA cable and the same power cable that I'm using on the hard drive that is working, and I can hear this hard drive spinning up and everything, and it's just not working. So I have no idea what's wrong with that. So maybe that's just another dead hard drive like this one here. And this was from, no, not this one, that's the working one from this PC that I'm on right now. No, this one is the one from the $5 PC. And when the same thing happened, I would plug it in, I would hear it spin up, but the computer wouldn't recognize anything. So, and that's and I tried to I think I tried to change out the data cable, because the CD-ROM was working and everything, and so it's just another dead hard drive. So I have no idea what's wrong with it. But anyway, so we're going to press enter here to start DBAN in interactive mode, because I was trying to, if you saw on the when I press F2, it said you could hook up more than one hard drive to it. And that's what I was trying to do, because it could save me some time, because I was just going to run this run DBAN 2 times, one for this hard drive and one for the next hard drive. But now that this hard drive is not being recognized by the computer at all, I guess I'm not going to be able to do that. So I'm just going to run it on this hard drive here, and I'm probably just going to have to physically break this other hard drive or something, which I really don't like to do that with hard drives. But since there's so much data on here, I don't want to risk that being compromised by anybody. So I guess that's what I'm gonna have to do. So you can see it's found the one hard drive here. I'll zoom in on that. This is a 149 gig, which is basically a 150 gig hard drive, and I think all we have to do is press F10 to start. You see at the bottom here we have some options. The screen's kind of cutting it off though. So we're going to press space to select. You see it's going to wipe it. And I think we can do some different options here. We're going to wipe that, and we'll press F10 to start. And it's probably going to make us do a confirmation. Or maybe not, it's just going to go right into doing it. So you'll see there it is wiping the hard drive. This does take some time doing pass 1 of 31, and what it actually does is it writes some bogus data to it, and it basically will overwrite everything that's on it. So there's basically no way of getting back the data that was originally on here. So the only thing that you'll get back is a bunch of bogus data. So that's what we're going to be doing. Actually, that says pass 1 of 3, not 31. That I thought that bracket was a 1 on the camera because it looked that way. But yeah, so that is what we're going to be doing. And yeah, so I'm just going to let this run. And I think that is going to be the end of this video. I'm not really going to be doing, I'm not going to be, waiting till this finishes, because, that's just going to take too long, and there's not really that much interesting that happens after this. It just says, hey, your hard drive's been wiped. So yeah, again, I'm probably going to be physically smashing this hard drive. I might make a video on that, or I might just take apart this hard drive, and I can probably show you guys what's inside of it, and we can power it on or do something interesting with it, because it's basically a dead hard drive now that has some data on it that I don't want to somehow get out there with, like, if I put this into a PC to sell. So I'm probably gonna be doing something with this hard drive, which I hate to do, as I said. But I mean, this is a 320 gig drive too. But I mean, what else can you say? I don't want that person's data to get out there. So anyway, be looking out for that video. And like I said, this is gonna take a long time, probably. So yeah, I got 3 hours left on here, so this is gonna be a while. I'm gonna let this run, and yeah, guys, so that is gonna wrap it up for this video. I just want to thank you guys so much for watching and for all your amazing support last year in 2015. And I'm hoping some great things. I've got some great videos planned for the beginning of this year, as I always try to have something interesting planned for you guys. So yeah, the videos are going to be coming as they always are, so be looking out for that. And as always, I just want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.